guys, welcome to Pajama Let's Play. I'm Michelle, host of Pajama Let's Play, where we talk all things Kingdom Hearts. Today, I'm going to do a character analysis for Terra and why it's important to think for yourself, develop your own discernment, and make informed judgment calls. But before we get into that, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell. You can follow me on Twitch, check out my Patreon. All of those links are in the description box down below. I will be covering spoilers, especially for Birth by Sleep and Kingdom Hearts 3, so feel free to get caught up on those first and then come back to this. Back to Terra. He's always been, by far, my least favorite character in this entire series. There's something about his gullibility and lack of perception that just really gets to me. Thankfully, he gets redeemed in Kingdom Hearts 3, so let's take a look. We first meet Terra in Birth by Sleep, the night before his Mark of Mastery exam with Ventus and Aqua. They do a cute friendship thing and they exchange star charms and all that. They take the exam, Xehanort interferes, and now Terra's on a mission to prove he can control the darkness within him. That's great, but it seems like he blindly follows others to prove that, because he doesn't trust his own judgment. The first example he gives us happens before he even leaves the land of departure, right here.
There's darkness within me. So what does that matter? I know I'm strong enough to hold it back.
Yes, you are indeed strong. The darkness is nothing to fear.
Master Xehanort.
And yet, how frustrating that Ericus refutes its power. Why, you could train with him forever, and still, you'd never be a master in his eyes.
But why? Help me understand, Master Xehanort. What is it that I failed to learn?
You're fine as you are. Darkness cannot be destroyed. It can only be channeled.
Yes. Thank you, Master.
It's that bit at the end that irks me. Terra just jumps to a position of receiving orders and just accepts it as truth. True, darkness can't be defeated, and it can be channeled, but there's so much more you can do with it than that. It can be repressed, expressed through creative projects, integrated with one's light attributes, and even more than that. However, Terra is so focused on proving himself, he doesn't even think to question this guy he just met. Friend of his teacher or not, you shouldn't just accept the things people say at face value. Terra and Aqua are tasked with going to other worlds to protect the princesses of Heart from the unversed. And Terra's first stop gives us our next example. Enchanted Dominion. He fights some unversed, and who was the first person he meets? Maleficent. Let's take a look at that interaction.
Oh, but wait. I do remember someone leaving the castle.
Tell me, what was he doing there?
I couldn't say. I can only be certain he was not from this kingdom. If you're curious, go see the castle for yourself. There, the entrance is past the bridge.
Thanks.
Perhaps he did speak about imprisoning the light. The light could be so many things. Could he have meant Princess Aurora?
Aurora.
In your heart, there is darkness just waiting to be awakened.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Perhaps not yet. But I have power over sleep. And I can awaken what's inside you.
She's a master manipulator, to say the least. Her trick was very subtle, and I too would have fallen for it. She's already met Xehanort and sends Terra to Aurora. Once he's there, it really didn't matter that his discernment came back. She's much stronger than him, and he was so focused on staying in denial about the very thing Maleficent was awakening, allowing her to be successful. After this experience, he moves on to the Dwarf Woodlands, where he meets the Evil Queen. Let's see if he's learned anything so far.
Spirit of the mirror, come from the farthest space. Through wind and darkness, I summon thee. Speak! Show me thy face.
What wouldst thou know, my queen?
Snow White.
A mirror that knows and sees everything. How about that?
The heart of Snow White doth shine bright. Beware, my queen, a heart of light.
Another one? Wait. What if Master Xehanort is here?
Who goes there?
My name is Terra. I'm looking for a man named Xehanort. Master Xehanort. I thought maybe you might have seen him.
That name is of no consequence to me. Wait. Ah, yes. I have a task for you. If you succeed, I will ask the mirror where you might find this Master Xehanort.
Hold on. Terra was listening the whole time, and his response was still to work with her? After calling a spirit through the darkness, asked about her rival, and just all of it. His instinct was to ask her about Xehanort. It should have been to sneak out and get somewhere safe. Granted, it was clever to use the opportunity to find out more about Snow White, but asking her what Snow White did to the evil queen means he will still trust people at face value and set himself up to be taken advantage of. She was more over it than Maleficent, which is a blessing for Snow White, but that makes his lack of judgment even worse for me. He goes through Castle of Dreams with Cinderella, sees Yen sit at his tower, and reunites with Xehanort. Let's see if he's learned anything yet.
I knew the boy could not stay with me, the man who did him such grievous harm.
Master Xehanort. Ventus has gotten a lot better since then. You shouldn't blame yourself for trying to save him. Master, why is Venita still free?
Ah, yes. Well, I did my best to contain him the moment he emerged, but...
He managed to escape.
Vanitas uses the Keyblade to sow seeds of darkness. And now, you see, the world's teem with his ghastly underlings.
The Unversed.
He has no control over the darkness in his heart. The Keyblade is not his to bear. He's an abomination beyond hope of salvation. Lend me your strength, Terra. Right this wrong that I have wrought.
To be fair, Xehanort had a good story and made it seem like he was being transparent. But notice when Terra asked why Vanitas is free, Xehanort paused mid-sentence, and Terra filled in the blanks with something he found acceptable. He didn't try to get Xehanort to actually answer the question. People who like to keep their privacy and secrets use silence as a tool in exactly that way. Most people are so uncomfortable in silence, they'll say just about anything to fill it, giving away all of their power. The one protecting the information gets out scot-free with no effort or consequence. Other than that, I can see why Terra would believe Xehanort's story. However, this is, I think, the third time Terra has actually interacted with Xehanort, and that scene is only an hour into the game movie, so that's the maximum amount of time the two have actually spoken to each other. That is not enough time to hear this kind of a story and decide to actually fight the battle for them. This is the type of thing you take to your mutual friend to discuss, which for him would be Ericus. But no, he goes to Radiant Garden, as this almost stranger says, to try to track down this entity of 100% darkness, as Xehanort just explained, all by himself. Okay, I think I've made my point enough for the time being, and this video is already pretty long. So instead of showing every instance of Terra taking things at face value instead of thinking about them on his own, let's just skip ahead to his demise at the end of Birth by Sleep. At this point, he's taken out Breg's Eye, saved Xehanort, dealt the fatal blow to Ericus, discovered the truth about Xehanort, and is now meeting up for the destiny he couldn't have predicted. Xehanort separates Terra and takes him as a vessel. The various parts of him are split and fought individually in the various games, like the Lingering Will, and it all gets very confusing. But Terra didn't exactly form into the expected Heartless Nobody combination we're used to, like Sora and Xehanort produced. Instead, Terra's heart, I think, again it's confusing, became bound to his body as seen here.
You fell to the dark.
One day, I will set this right. One day, I will set this right. I will return to this land and protect my friends.
Terra, now!
He repeats his final promise from Birth by Sleep, rips off his bindings, and saves his friends. At this point, he had already become the one thing he feared most, a being of pure darkness. And he was even forced to protect the true entity of darkness that possessed his own body. There was nothing left for Terra to lose or to prove, and his friends would likely have died without him. He finally thought for himself, took his life into his own hands, and broke free from the darkness he allowed to keep him bound. We do see him in Melody of Memory with Riku, and he seems to be much happier and healthier. I hope to see a lot of him in Phase 2, and hopefully a lot wiser for his journey. Perhaps over that year, with Riku popping in and out, he was able to reconcile his darkness, integrate it with his light, just like Riku did, and find the balance we all so desperately crave. So what do you think? How do you view Terra and his role in the greater story? Tell me all about your thoughts in the comments section down below. Also, don't forget to do all of the things I'm supposed to ask you to do, also linked in the description box down below. Until next time.